Well, I guess we're going that way. I guess we should keep going. Nope, not yet. All right, I found it. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Doing something very, very, very different today. For the first time ever, lived in Florida for about 7 years now, I think, and I'm finally going to Gatorland. Let's check this thing out. So one of the first things when you come into the park, they have this gator feeding experience where you get your own fishing pole and rope kind of thing. It's three fishes for $5, and you get to feed the gators just like that. It's pretty neat.
Countdown. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You got it? It was a little, okay, tell you what, I can't decide the winner of the competition. I'll leave it to the crowd out there. And Bubba said, I think Bubba's good the job. Makes.
So that was a little bit of the Gator Jumperoo show. And it's kind of neat because they have this giant lake in the park and a lot of boardwalks and stuff over it. So the gators for this show, when they come in and get fed, they just sort of swim in and then they swim on out. So it was kind of neat. Really came off across with like kind of ferocious and river monster-y type of alligators, seeing them jump out of the water to get some raw meat, but it was neat. And you've got one of the big alligators here. And one thing I was not expecting about Gatorland here is it's actually pretty big. I mean, if you look at this lagoon they have for the alligators, it's actually a really, really nice habitat for these things to live. It's very, very large. A lot of times when you go to a zoo or something like that, the alligators have kind of a smaller pen, but these guys, they have plenty of room here. And this guy's swimming over towards us. Also, love kind of staying with the theme of their fun signage. Warning, trespassers will be eaten here at Gatorland, which makes all the sense. But great lagoon, incredible, really big atmosphere for these guys. Another thing I was not expecting to find here at Gatorland is a splash park, kind of like a kids' water play area, complete with one of the smallest tipping buckets I've ever seen. But it's actually a nice little area. If you got kids and it's hot as it does to be during the summer here, I'm sure. My favorite part, I think, is the water gun war that takes place on the back of 2 different alligators. That's pretty neat. And then it looks like they've got a playground over there in the back. So a pretty solid looking play area here at Gatorland. And here comes the tiny tipping bucket. Yay. Now, I have not seen this in a park before. They have tortoise feeding, where you can go and feed the tortoises for $5. He's a messy eater. He is a messy eater. And he's hiding. Look at this guy go. Yay! Kind of neat though. That's something you don't get to do a lot of places. Again, I love the signage here. Despite being heavy, they are very buoyant and can float for days. Kind of like our cousin Jim Bob.
Where are you from?
So another upside to this here is that you could go and yourself and wrestle a gator.
Come on over.
Which is
How are you?
very interesting. Definitely an interesting photo op. I imagine that's something they would probably sell quite a bit of.
I don't like it.
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
Like
with your
like
hair smile. Any snow on the ground? All right, guys, again, 82, really, really sharp teeth. Take a look down at the back of the throat. He's got a flap of skin back there. Now, that's to keep water from us. Okay, we're going to move on now, okay?
And, of course, Gatorland would be home to some white alligators, which are always kind of freaky to look at. They actually have a lot. They have 4 of them. And normally the white alligators are especially rare. So for a zoo to have about 4 of them is pretty interesting. And this guy's a big dude too. Creepy. Check out this guy over here. He's just posing. We're in the back of the park now, the breeding marsh, which is a very big swamplandy type area. And again, this is different than the other 2 giant lakes I saw you guys earlier. They have an incredible amount of room here for these animals to go and adventure. They also have a large amount of animals. Let's check it out. Observation tower. Let's go up. Up here from the top of the observation tower here at Gatorland of the breeding marsh, and it's kind of freaky because the tower kind of sways a little bit. Also, I think it's really kind of neat. On each side of the tower, they have all these different informational signs that show you how far, like some famous Florida landmarks are. and how far away they are. You know, so if you wanted to go to Cape Canaveral to see the spaceport or go on a cruise ship or something, 43 miles that way. Also, here you can see the Gatorland zipline experience. Not something we're going to do today because it's like $70, but definitely they have a cool series of zipline. You get probably, I think, like 5 or 6 ziplines for it, and some of them go over some of the gator areas themselves, so it's actually a really, really neat zipline. You can see that guy moving down there. I also love this. I'm wondering if this is something that has happened on their zipline or they just put on there for precaution. Because one of the zips, you go here down to there, but they have this large fenced off area where the gators can't possibly get to you. Like, I'm wondering if that was put in as a precaution or as in, whoops, something happened. But I found that interesting. Here's some footage of this guy. This is ziplining right over the alligators. And gotta say, that does look pretty fun. Apparently there's a train ride here at Gatorland, and here's a sign: you can beat the train or the train can beat you. Tying the train, however, will ruin your day. So if you're a fan of like the old world Florida kind of attractions or like old-timey stuff, they actually have a working mold-o-matic machine, which is always something cool. A lot of you listening are probably too young for this kind of thing, but you can make your own fresh-pressed plastic toy. And one thing about the mold-o-matic machines, they definitely have a distinct smell to them. And right past the mold-o-matic is adorable little baby gators. Look at them. They have a ton of them, which is not a surprise as it is Gatorland, that they would indeed feature a ton of small alligators. Hey Molly, what time is it?
Beer 30.
Beer 30, yes. Gatorland, no surprise to anyone, not a dry park. Also not a surprise to anyone they don't have a large selection of craft beer, as it was Bud Light, and Bud Light Lime. But hey, you know, hang out, drink some beer, watch some gators, not too bad of a day. Also, look at the size of this big guy here. Holy cow. I'm trying to get, like, he barely fits on the platform. That's a very large alligator. Again, they've got another very large lagoon on this side. So the lagoon I showed you earlier was over there, and they have another lagoon over here. So they definitely have plenty of room for these gators to, you know, swim, and different islands for them to go on, and that kind of thing. So that's bigger than I thought it would be. All right, there's changing rooms here by the splash area, and again, this ain't restrooms. The restrooms are over on the other side of the Gator Gully General Store. Please do not poop or pee in here, because there ain't no flusher. A little tough to see through the glass here, but there's Florida Panthers. That one's cleaning himself. And another one. Again, another decent-sized exhibit here. You know, multi-levels and things for them to climb on and things like that. So, you know, good to see something other than a slimy snake kind of thing. This is great. Again, the signage has been some of my favorite part here. Do not climb over the wall and try to pet us. We'll drag you through the tiny mesh wire and eat you. That's here by the Panthers. Where's the He's over there. It wouldn't be a theme park without a nice cheesy photo op. Next stop at Gatorland is the Python House. If you know me, snakes are probably one of my least favorite animals. They kind of freak me out. Snakes and spiders, I'm not a fan. This one is under the water? That's interesting. It's just completely hanging out under the water. We got one over here that's slithering around the floor. Yep, that's a terrifying looking animal. Yep. Yeah. Looks like pure evil to me. Not
His
a fan.
tongue! It's so cool!
No. Yep, that's a big old stick.
Do you like the peaceful one sleeping over here?
I prefer the peaceful one as opposed to the one looking like it's going to eat me. But there we go, that's the Python House. Not surprising that there's a petting zoo over here. Whole bunch of goats. And one cow. I like how the goats always hop on the fence trying to get all the food. Oh, it's a little goat. Look how cute you are, little goat. Little tiny itty bitty baby gators. Is there only one in here? I think so. But he's tiny, and check out his eyes. Well, that's neat. But again, this guy is tiny. To give you some sort of comparison, there's my hand, and that's the size of that gator. So not a very large animal. Really cool looking. Up next, the swamp walk. So the swamp walk is exactly what you think it is. It's a walk through the swamp. And it's like, watch out, this is a real life swamp. And don't piss off the snakes. So they've got a large section of emus here. And we bought some emu food for 25 cents. Unfortunately, the emus do not seem very hungry. Here's my hand trying to feed the emus. And they're just, they're pretty full, I guess. They are kind of evil looking birds.
They're the devil.
Molly says they're the devil. Well, they're definitely not a hungry devil, as I'm just hanging out with some feed. Yeah, that didn't work.
Is that maybe?
So over here we have a couple of Cuban crocodiles who really look like dinosaurs. This one's eating grass.
They're slithering because they're cunning.
Apparently they're slithering because they're cunning.
That's what the sign said.
The sign said they were slithering.
No, they said that they were cunning.
That makes much more sense. More animals over here. You got some deer, 2 of them. And then if you look over here, you got some peacock type birds. The deer seem very peacefully sitting down here in the shade. And swimming on by here is a Nile crocodile.
That is a big one.
He's very, very large. He stopped right at Molly.
Right.
Yep.
We want to feed those.
That's cool. First exhibit I've seen like this where you could sort of look underneath the glass at them and sort of see them swim, so that's kind of cool. It is neat because everywhere you go there are tons and tons of gators. Like we're on this back pathway here, and then boom, this area right here probably has 15 gators right there. A couple of jungly type birds. So these guys here, they have one of the nicer exhibits I've seen here at Gatorland. Big, they've got a little lake, and again, a tremendous amount of alligators. Including that guy, Captain Poe's down over there. Oh man, this is wonderful. Welcome to your up-to-the-minute Gatorland weather report. Please note, rock. There's the rock. If the rock is hot, it's sunny. If the rock is cool, it's cloudy. If the rock is wet, it's raining. If you ask what rock, it's foggy. If the rock is gone, hurricane. That's fantastic.
Did it come out?
Yeah.
Look at the size of this.
Did he blow it out?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And it went poof.
Yeah.
This might be one of the bigger ones yet.
That's his extra.
Possums. No, it's no surprise that they're sleepy. Oh, he's not as sleepy up there. Look at him. Obviously, my camera wants to focus on the fence, but there's a possum. I do enjoy a good cheesy photo op. All right, guys, check this out. This is Chester, and he loved eating dogs in Tampa. That's sad. I like dogs. But check this guy out. 13.5 feet long.
He was eating dogs. He was hungry. And they tasted good.
As like a lot of zoos, they have one of these sort of sheep or lower sheep type exhibits, which are kind of neat. Sometimes the bird will land on you, like landing on these guys over here. And always a neat time if you haven't done one of these. They also have an owl. So they're not really behaving for us for the cameras right now, but here is Bobcat Bayou, another rather large, nice exhibit here at Gatorland. And it's got bobcats. I did say, like, I didn't really look at the website or research this that much, but I was not expecting to see so many animals other than gators on our adventure here to Gatorland. And been pleasantly surprised by that. Wish these bobcats were up and doing stuff, but I guess I could take the bobcat now. So this Mold-O-Matic is even better. It's a man wrestling a gator in a cowboy hat. Not one of the more exotic animals here at Gatorland. They've got a North American raccoon exhibit. And while they do have a cute little environment for him with logs and a little river, well, the river actually just is a river. They built the inhabitant around it. And he's up there on his house sleeping because, of course, raccoons are nocturnal. I like raccoons. I find them cute. They look like little tiny bandits. I do love that Gatorland, much like any other theme park, has all-season refillable cups for the Drew the Interns of the world on both their sodas and their popcorn. I mean, we've got to go see that. This one's my favorite. Guys, that'll do it for our day here at Gatorland here in Wilderville, Central Florida. It was interesting. I had more fun than I thought I would. It was a lot bigger than I thought Gatorland was going to be. And it's just, you know, it's very interesting. It's very different. I can definitely see why it's very popular with a lot of our international travelers that come to Orlando. They like to come here and do that. Obviously very, very, very different than all the other theme parks and stuff you'll see in town. Very Florida, very down home kind of thing. So I did enjoy it. There was a train ride we didn't do that was about $2. But I liked it. I liked seeing, you know, more gators than I'll ever see in my entire life. And the jumping stuff was actually probably my favorite part. I like seeing the gators jump during that show, and the you know, feeding some of the gators for having them jump up and you can try and catch them. Molly, what did you think? What were your favorite parts here at Gatorland?
I agree. It's much bigger than I thought it was. I liked the jumping show. I was impressed for the amount.
Mm-hmm. And now, who would you say should come to Gatorland?
I agree. It's more for like the international tourist. If you're interested in seeing the Everglades, but you don't want to go and drive down to the Everglades, this is a good place to come.
Yeah. Also, I think if you're not a bad idea too if you have like a half a day. Oh my God! Look at all these fish.
Yeah.
It's kind of thing like if it's like your
flight or something.
You have a flight at like 3 or 4 or 5. And you don't want to spend all of your day on like the full $100 on a park admission ticket. You know, I think that's a solid idea as well. But, you know, I would say I was very happily impressed. I enjoyed my time here. Hope you guys liked the video. You got any questions about Gatorland, let me know. I also think it's really interesting that it was built before Walt Disney World. It opened in the 40s, like 49, I think.
1949 is whenever it was established.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's you know, it outdates Disney by quite a bit. And very unique. I could say I would have never been to anywhere quite like this. You got any questions or comments? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe, get videos from all over the place, mostly theme park related, sometimes not like this. And thank you guys for watching. Alright guys, thank you for watching the end of this video. I'm going to give a little giveaway here. I'm going to send this postcard out to one lucky listener. So just respond in the next 10 days or so. So respond by January 15th saying, hey, I want that postcard, and I will select a winner at random. Thanks for watching, guys.